Hi guys, in today's video I'm going to show you how to correctly use the backhand slice when approaching the net. Your backhand slice technique on the approach shot is not going to differentiate from your regular backhand slice, and this includes things such as the backhand slice grip, the take back, the contact point, and the finish. So what differentiates a slice approach shot from a regular backhand slice executed from the baseline is that we usually have to hit a backhand slice in transition, and it therefore makes it a lot more difficult. So in today's video, I'm going to show you how to correctly use the slice. But first, let's talk about when to use the slice or when to use your regular backhand, let's say from this area, the half court. So what I recommend is that any ball that's between your waist and your shoulder, you take as a regular backhand, because let's face it, with a slice, it's going to be very difficult to hit a winner. So you're giving away a chance to possibly hit a winner or a very aggressive shot if you select to hit a slice from the shoulder to the waist area. Here, you should rely on your regular backhand and look to hit a winner. On the other hand, if the ball is below your waist, here, if you try to hit your regular backhand, because you're closer to the net, you'll have to hit up on the ball, and you also are closer to the baseline. So the ball doesn't have a lot of space to go up and down. And at the recreational level, a very common mistake is that players will spray the ball long if they attempt to hit a regular backhand on a low ball. So here it makes a lot more sense to hit a slice backhand. So on any ball that's below your waist, you should absolutely select to hit a backhand slice. And the same thing goes for balls that are above your shoulder. See, if the ball gets this high on us, and we have a very difficult time hitting a winner because we're very weak in this particular shot. So it makes a lot of sense to slice balls that are this high, and it looks something like this. So ball is going to be above my shoulder, and I'm going to slice it straight down, and this is going to be the better option to choose from. A very common problem on the slice backhand in general is that players will push on the ball instead of hitting across the body like this. And in case of the backhand slice approach shot, this is going to cause even more problems, because what's going to happen, the momentum from you coming from the baseline to the net, and in addition to that, you're going forward on the ball. This will very often cause the ball to go long, looking something like this. So if I push on this ball, it's very easy to spray it long. Now, there are different variations when it comes to the finish on the slice. I have a separate video titled 3 Ways to Slice that shows you in detail how to execute these different finishes and which one might be best suited for you. And guys, if I'm coming from the baseline all the way to the net with a lot of momentum, and then I hit across the body like this, you can see how the racket is going across my chest. This is going to give me a lot more control. So it's crucial that you stop pushing forward on your slice, and this is going to eliminate a lot of frustrating slice mistakes. And what makes the backhand slice approach shot more difficult than a backhand slice executed from the baseline is that we have to do it in transition, and there's a couple of variations. So imagine if you're hitting a slice backhand and you may be getting there a little bit late, or the short ball is very low. There's not going to be any time to stop, and you'll have to hit the slice in transition. So it looks something like this. So there's no time here to stop, and I'll have to move through the slice basically. And what's important to remember, on a ball like this, you'll have to keep the steps somewhat small in order to keep your balance. Do not take large steps on a ball like this, because you likely are going to overrun it. You can initially take some large steps, but then once you get closer to the ball, you make the steps a little bit smaller. And it is crucial that you also don't stop, because then you'll end up reaching for the slice like this, and there's no way to execute it correctly if you do that. Now, if there's more time, you can execute your slice approach shot just like a regular slice from the baseline. Now, any slice will have to have fundamentals, and basically you will need a big shoulder turn, and this is easiest achievable by making a lateral step. So if you make a lateral step, you get that shoulder blade pointing towards the ball. See, if I stepped more forward now, I would have to force the shoulder turn, and this might be the case if you are transitioning through a slice. This will require a little bit more of a forced shoulder turn. But if you have more time, you can come into the slice and just simply set that dominant leg across the body like this. Now, even though you have more time, this doesn't mean that you're going to stop and then hit the slice and not move at all. You will have to transition through this type of slice as well, because let's face it, what are we doing? We're hitting an approach shot and we'll have to get to the net. And something very interesting is going to happen if we achieve the lateral setup and we continue to transition through our slice. So if we set the leg, dominant leg, up like this, and we continue transitioning through the ball, the back leg will go behind the body naturally. And this is also called the karaoke step. And it's not something that you have to execute consciously, like a dance step, you know. This is going to happen naturally if you achieve the proper setup. And let me show you what it looks like. So I'm going to make a lateral step, continue moving through, and I don't even have to force this movement. And naturally, you can take a look from this angle. As I'm continuing to move through the slice, the back leg will go forward. Take a look. So it's going to continue going forward like this, and the steps are going to look this way. Look, this leg is going to go across, and now the back leg is going to go behind, and now the front leg is going to go forward. And now once you have done this, now the back leg goes back into the normal position and you can run towards the net. And one of the mistakes that I see at the recreational level is that players will stay sideways the entire time and they end up karaokeing all the way to the net, looking something like this. They end up moving this way, and this is completely unnecessary. It will make you a lot slower. So once you've executed this movement, basically by continuing moving through the stroke only. So once I do this and I finish my stroke, now I can go back to my regular movement, which is this. And again, this is not something that you have to worry about. Worry about setting that slice up perfectly with a lateral step, and then most importantly, continuing moving through your stroke. But once your stroke is over, continue moving normally towards the net, and then go into a split step before you hit your volley. Now let's talk about how to hit the slice approach shot. So it doesn't really matter whether you hit it down the line, whether you hit it cross court, you could even hit it through the middle, whether you hit the ball short or deep. And the most important thing on a slice approach shot is that you don't let the ball sit up with a lot of underspin, because then the passing shot becomes very easy for your opponent. And so what you must do instead is keep your slice extremely low, something like that, because now that bounce is going to be very low. The opponent will have to bend down, and they're going to be in a disadvantageous position for a passing shot, which will increase the chances of either them missing or you putting the volley away. And whether your slice sits up or not will depend on the angle of your racket face at contact. And on the slice, it should be neutral. And if you're interested in how this works, I have an entire video dedicated to this topic. And now on this slice approach shot, there's going to be some exceptions. So what's going to happen, if the ball is extremely low and you're close to the net, you will have to open the racket face up, because with a neutral racket face, there's absolutely no chance that that ball will go over the net. So let's summarize what you have to do on your slice. So if you have good slice fundamentals, this will translate into your approach shot as well. And it's very important that you recognize what kind of short ball you are getting, and then you can either transition through the ball or you can slow down a little bit, set up the ball, and then execute your slice. And most importantly, you don't want to come in on a weak slice and then get passed. This is very frustrating. So what you need to learn is how to slice with a neutral racket face, so that you come into the net on a low ball and give yourself the best possible chance to put the volley away.